Hello, everyone. Welcome to our topic today. What are the changes in the class hiring teacher 1? Closure number 2, Deped order number 007, series of 2023, criteria and point system for hiring teacher 1 positions. This criteria and point system shall cover the selection and hiring of teacher applicants to teacher 1 positions in the kindergarten, elementary, junior high school, and senior high school. For senior high school, the same criteria shall apply in hiring teacher applicants under permanent, provisional, or contractual status. Okay, so these are the new guidelines. For education, 15 to 20 points. It was reduced to 10 points. For teaching experience, 15 to 20 points to 10 points. For training, 15 to 20 points. For senior high school, to 10 points. And PBET or let rating from 15 points to 10 points. Demonstration teaching from 15 to 20 points becomes 35 points. No more communication skills or English proficiency test. And for interview, 10 to 15 points shall be replaced by TRF or the teacher reflection form with 25 points. The RQA cutoff score is 50 points. For Teacher 1 hiring, there are two sets of reports of comparative assessment shall be prepared and submitted to the appointing officer authority as follows. The first is the CAR. It is in the Annex 1 of this Deped order. It shall contain the comparative assessment result of all candidates for appointment and CAR of the Registry of Qualified Applicants in Annex 1.1, it shall contain only the candidates who have met the cutoff score of 50 points. So, the teacher 1 hiring criteria. So, here are the criteria. The first one is the education. Maximum points is 10. For the training, we have also 10. For the experience, we have also 10. For the PBET or LEPT rating, 10 points. And for the PPST or COIS stands for Classroom Observable Indicators. That's the demonstration teaching, which is equivalent to 35 points. And the last one is the PPST and COIS, which is the non-classroom observable indicators. The teacher reflection, we have the 25 points. For the education, units and or degree relevant to the position to be filled, like kindergarten, elementary, junior high school, and senior high school, exceeding the QS. What is the QS? QS is the qualification standards that was set by the Civil Service Commission. So we have here 10 points. How about the training? Hours in curriculum and instruction exceeding the QS acquired in the last 5 years, while for senior high school must be relevant to the learning area, specialization, and strands. And this is also 10 points. For the teaching experience, months or years of teaching exceeding the QS. For senior high school, relevant industry or work experience may be considered. And this is 10 points. For the let and PBET rating, the rating obtained as reflected in the certificate of rating. This is equivalent also to 10 points. Now, the PPST or the COIS or the Classroom Observable Indicators, it measured through classroom observation and the demonstration teaching, and it has a 35 points. For the non-classroom observable indicators, it is measured through the teacher reflection form or the TRF. It is equivalent to 25 points. So the following general guidelines shall be observed in giving corresponding points to relevant education, the training and experience qualifications. The first, for the education, units and or degrees in multiple or different majors may be given corresponding points on a cumulative basis, provided that the units or degrees earned are relevant to the position applied for. Provided further that the subjects completed are not duplicated. For the relevant trainings hours earned from digital, the virtual or the online learning may be considered subject to the conditions prescribed in CSC Memorandum Circular Number 3, Series of 2021, which is the General Guidelines on Digital Online Learning in the Public Sector. And the third one is the TESDA National Certification or the NC2 and Trainers Methodology certificate may be also considered, provided that the skills acquired from the training are relevant to the work, duties, and responsibilities of Teacher 1. And the next one is relevant experience gained from part-time work of at least 4 hours per day may be also considered, provided that the appropriate certificate of employment is submitted with details on the actual number of hours rendered. For purposes of giving points, the months or years of relevant experience submitted shall be transmuted to the equivalent months or years of experience based on the Civil Service Commission required 8-hour per day workday. And the next one is the relevant experience gained from abroad or outside of Philippines may be considered provided that the applicant submits a certificate of employment. Those documentary requirements written in languages other than English or Filipino shall be accompanied by a complete English translation. Okay. What are the requirements? Application requirements. So, all interested applicants to vacant positions, whether internal or external to Deped, shall submit the following documentary requirements to the respective HRMOs through the record division, section, unit, or the subcommittee designated by the head of office to perform the function of receiving application documents on or before the deadline indicated in the official memorandum. Letter A, letter of intent, addressed to the head of office or to the highest human resource officer designated by the head of office. Letter B, duly accomplished PDS, CS form number 212, revised 2017, with work experience sheet if applicable. Letter C, photocopy of valid and updated PRC license, ID if applicable. Letter D, photocopy of certificate of eligibility, ratings, if applicable. And letter E, photocopy of scholastic academic records such as, but not limited to transcript of records and diploma, including completion of graduate and postgraduate units or degrees if available. Letter F, photocopy of certificate of training if applicable. Letter G, photocopy of certificate of employment, contract of service, or duly signed service record, whichever is or are applicable. Letter H, photocopy of latest appointment if applicable. Letter I, photocopy of the performance rating in the last ratings periods covering 1 year performance in the current or latest position prior to the deadline of submission, if applicable. Letter J, checklist of requirements and omnibus sworn statement on the certification on the authenticity and veracity of the documents submitted and data privacy consent from pursuant to RA number 10173, the Data Privacy Act of 2012, using the attached form, notarized by authorized official. And letter K, other documents as may be required by the HRM PSP for comparative assessment, including but not limited to means of verification, showing outstanding accomplishments, application of education, and application of learning and development reckoned from the date of last issuance of appointment. A. Now, how do we compute the points for RQA? So, here's the ways on how to compute the points for RQA. So, rubrics for computation of education, training, and experience, which is stand for ETE. So, for education, training, experience, we have the 30 points, and it is based on the qualification standards. So, the points for ETE corresponding to the applicant's qualifications exceeding the QS or the qualification standard shall be computed using the increments table and the ETE rubrics. Only those qualifications that are relevant to the position to be filled shall be given points. Okay, so what is the increment table? A tool that is used in determining the incremental points in the education, training, and experience. obtained by the applicant that exceeds the minimum requirements per CSE approved qualification standards. Let the pivot rating, which is 10 points, the classroom observation or the demo teaching, which is equivalent to 35 points, the teacher reflection form, which is equivalent to 25 points. So in all, we have 100 points. Say, for example, I am applying for a Teacher 1 position this year. So Teacher 1, the salary grade for Teacher 1 is 11. Education is bachelor's degree in education or any bachelor's degree with 18 units of professional education. Training, non-required. Experience, non-required. Eligibility is RA 1080. So, ang education for teacher 1 is bachelor's degree. May increment level siya na 6. Okay? Here is the example. So, dito sa table na increment table na education, ang increment level niya is 6. Bakit? I am a graduate of bachelor's degree. 2, less than 6 units earned towards the completion of a master's degree. So, dito po ako magpo-fall sa increment level 6. So, dito po, depende po yan kung master's degree graduate ka na, iba naman po yung increment level. But since I am only a bachelor's degree, less than 6 units earned towards the completion of master's degree, so meron lang po akong increment level 6. Yung nandito po yan, yung nasa red line. Okay, now, so eto po. So, ang nakuha ko po na CSCQS is 6 based po doon sa table. So, ang increment level po is 8 because this is the, what do you call that? The salary level for teacher 1 is 11. So, 11 minus 6 equals to 5. So, ito pong 5, that is my points for education. Now, let's go to experience. For the teacher 1 non-required, meron po siyang increment level 1 lang po. 1 lang sa experience. Okay, let us see the table for the experience. So, say for example, I have 4 years experience in teaching to less than 4 years and 6 months experience. So, makikita po natin dito sa red line, dito po ako nag-fall. So, ang increment level ko po is 9 based on the experience. Yan po, 9 ang increment level ko. So, ang total ko pong QS is 1 kasi meron siyang increment level na 1. Ang increment level ko is 9 based on the table for experience. So, 9 minus 1, meron po akong 8 points for the experience. Okay. Next is for the training, which is non-required. Meron din po siyang increment level 1. So, dito naman sa table 2.B, sa increments table for training, dito po ako nag-fall. Based sa mga trainings ko, meron po akong 32 hours or less than 40 hours. Okay, so based doon, nag-fall po ako dito sa increment level na 5. Nakikita niyo yung red line dyan? Dyan po ako nag-fall. Kaya may increment level 5 ako. Now, let's compute. My QS, yung increment level po is 1 for the training. So, ang increment level ko based sa table is 5. So, 5 minus 1 equals 4. So, meron po akong 4 points for the training. So, ito po ang initial evaluation result ko for the education, experience, and training. So, education, meron akong 5 points. Sa experience, meron akong 8 points. While sa training, meron po akong 4 points. So, hindi pa po yan. So, dito na po tayo sa rubrics. Hindi pa po yan yung last evaluation result. Okay, so dito, makikita po natin dito sa rubrics for education, training, experience. Meron po siyang mga increment. Ang 10 or more increments, 8 to 9 increments, 6 to 7 increments, 4 to 5 increments, 2 to 3 increments. So, bawat increments, meron po siyang points. Yan, may succeeding points po bawat increments. The 10, 8, 6, 4, and 2. So, dito po sa kapila na may nakalagay na myself, ang education ko po dyan, nakuha kong points is 5. Kung titingnan po natin dito sa increment, dito po ako magpo-fall sa 4 to 5 increments. So, ang points ko lang po is 4. Kaya dito po sa initial evaluation results, 4 points lang po ang nakuha ko. Well, dito po sa experience, 8 po ang points ko. Kung titingnan natin dito sa rubrics ng increment, dito ako nag-fall sa 8 to 9 increments. Kaya ang points ko po is 8 points lang. While sa training, 4 ang points ko. Kung titingnan sa rubrics of increments, dito po ako nag-fall sa 4 to 5 increments, which is equivalent to 10 points. Ay, sorry, to 4 points. So, meron po ako sa training na 4 points. So, when we total, pag tinotal po natin ang 4 plus 8 plus 4, yung education, your experience, your training, ang total po niya is 16 points. So, out of 30 points, meron po akong nakuhang 16 points for education, experience, and training. So, this is only the initial evaluation results. So, meron na po akong 16 points. Now, let's go to ayan na po. Ito po yung initial evaluation results ko. Meron na po akong 16 points for education, experience, and training. Equivalent to 30 points, nakakuha ako ng 16. Okay, let's go to the Deped rating. Meron naman pong 10 points. So say for example, ang rating ko po is 82.75%. So, how are we going to compute? Ito po. So, rating or pivot rating, 82.75 divided by 100 times 10, the total is 8.275 points. Ito pong 10 po ito. This is the points allotted for let and pivot. Hindi po ito pwedeng palitan. So, meron po akong 8.275 points for the let rating. Dito naman tayo sa PPST indicators, yung dalawa, yung COIS at saka yung NCOIS. So, rubric for computation of PPST indicators. So, meron tayong 35 points para sa classroom observable indicators and meron naman po tayong 25 points para sa non-classroom observable indicators. As part of Deped's overall strategic HR framework and direction on competency-based HR, teacher hiring shall now be based on the demonstration of expected competences and professional standard as defined in the PPST. Select indicators are featured measuring the proficiency levels of beginning towards proficient. Ito ang 5 classroom observable indicators for ang PPST-based indicators. So, first one is 1.1.2, apply knowledge of content within and across curriculum teaching areas. 1.4.2, use a range of teaching strategies that enhance learner achievement in literacy and numeracy skills. 1.5.2, apply a range of teaching strategies to develop critical and creative thinking as well as other higher order thinking skills. 4.1.2, plan, manage and implement developmentally sequenced teaching and learning processes to meet curriculum requirements and varied teaching contents. For 5.1.2, design, select, organize, and use diagnostic, formative, and summative assessment strategies consistent with curriculum requirements. And for the COIS tools, ito po yung tatlo ang ginagamit. Yung observation notes form, yung rating sheet, at saka yung enter observer agreement form. Okay. How do we compute the demo teaching? Ito po. Kung nakakuha ka po ng 20 points sa demo teaching, say for example, ako nakakuha ng 20 points sa demo teaching, divided by 30 times 35, the total is 23.333 points. Ito naman pong 35, this is the points allotted for demo teaching. Hindi po to pwedeng palitan. Okay, so 35 points. So, a total is 23.333 points for the demo teaching. Okay. Let's go now to the non-classroom observable indicators. So, meron rin pong 4 for non-classroom observable indicators. Maintain learning environments that are responsible to community context. Review regularly personal teaching practice using existing laws and regulations that apply to the teaching profession and the responsibilities specified in the Code of Ethics for Professional Teachers. Adopt practices that uphold the dignity of teaching as a profession by exhibiting qualities such as caring, attitude, respect, and integrity, and participate in professional networks to share knowledge and to enhance experience. Teacher reflection form protocols. Meron pong protocols. The first is, the teacher reflection form must be administered on the spot. On the spot po kayo ang pagagawin ng TRF. Ang duration po niyan is 45 minutes to 1 hour. Okay. A proctor shall be assigned to give instruction and oversee the process. And the last one is the TRF evaluators must assess applicants based on the TRF rubric. Okay, say for example, nakakuha ako ng points sa TRF ko ng 14 divided by 20 times 25. So meron akong 17.5 points for my TRF. Ang 25 points, that is the points allotted for TRF only. So, ang nakuha kong total points for TRF is 17.5 points. Yan. Kung makikita ninyo, this is now my overall rating. Diba? For education, mayroon akong 4 points. The training, mayroon akong 8 points. Experience, meron akong 4 points. Doon sa let rating ko, meron akong 8.275 points. Sa demo teaching, meron akong 23.33. And sa TRF, meron akong 17.5. If we are going to total these points, meron akong 65.108 points, which is pasok sa RQA. Na yung ceiling ng RQA is 50 points. So, 65.108 ang total ng overall rating ko. Okay, so, comparative assessment results, registry of qualified applicants. Paano pagkuha ng applicants? Okay, for multiple vacancies, top ranking candidates. Kukunin yung top ranking candidates, the number of vacant items, ilan ba yung bakante, times 5. So, yun po yung how pagkuha ng mga applicants or ng teacher 1. Okay. Pero, meron naman tayong kailangan i-consider and filling up the teacher 1 position. The una dito, meron tayong tinatawag na RA number 8190, which is the localization law. Grants priority in the appointment or assignment of teachers to public elementary or secondary schools to bona fide residents of the barangay, municipality, city, or province where the school is located. And the second is the merit and fitness. Grants priority if the top-ranking candidates do not possess the necessary learning area specialization required by the position to be filled, or all the top-ranking candidates who possess the necessary learning area specialization have already been appointed. And the next one is the relevant law or national policies. Grants priority in the appointment through an enactment of a law, national policy, and or agreement entered into by Deped with other entities. So now, thank you for watching. I hope that you learned from this video. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more updates, learnings, and adventures. And good luck, everyone. This is your Lakwacherang Maestra. Thank you, and God bless it to each and every one of you.